Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to Forza Horizon 5, Let's Go. We have got quite the bumper show lined up, packed to the rafters you could say, so let's have a look at the schedule. First, we saw a glimpse on Forza Monthly with Vaughn Gittin Jr., and we're going to be taking a further look at the triumphant return of Robert Glenn, the Welsh drift master, in the brand new Drift Club Mexico Horizon story. Then we'll look at the new Threads and Horns coming in Series 6. Up next, we'll take a look at one of the brand new cars in Series 6 as well. After that, we're heading to the lab, the event lab that is, for some new tricks and props coming to you creators out there. Then we're going to be taking a look at the Horizon Open, as it's changed a little bit since we saw it last. Plus, as always, we've got some more new cars. And then there's the festival playlist. Find out what you're going to want to hit up in Series 6. Then we've got the usual fixes to some of the bugs. And finally, we'll have some Q&A time. So throughout the show, you should know this by now, folks. Ask your questions in chat, beginning with, "Hey, Tom," and we'll do our best to provide some of the A's to your Q's. We might even, if we have time, take a peek at Season 7, but keep your eyes peeled on that. But I can't go through it all alone. Absolutely, I can't. So today, I'm joined by this wonderful lot. We're going to go down the line. First of all, we've got Mike. How are you, Mike?
Hey Charlie,
Hi.
Really happy to be here. I missed last month, so really happy to be back, really excited. I'm super pumped for this show. This is like, there's just so much crammed into this. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Yeah? Can't wait for it. We've also got Torben. How are you, my
It's
darling?
great to be back. It's been a while. It really has.
has.
Great to be here. Great to talk about some new content. And yeah, there's stuff.
Perfect. And we also have a wonderful new face today, and that is the wonderful Giuseppe. How are you? Who are you? And what do you do?
That's a lot of questions,
It is
but
indeed.
hello, well, thank you very much for introducing me. I'm Giuseppe, and I'm social and community manager, and I joined the Playground team in December. Very excited to be here. I'm shaking, like, I don't know if the camera can take it, like, is it shaking? It's shaking. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here, part of the community team. Hello to the community team as well, beautiful community team, and hello to the community. And honestly,
are you paid by the word community? Or
yeah,
is that just...
I'm gonna keep repeating community about 10 times minimum. The point is to get over 9,000.
Okay, perfect.
So
Chat,
that's
count them
more or
all,
less.
please.
More or less.
So, before we start that challenge, we're going to be talking about Drift Club Mexico. This is the first Horizon story that you guys have added to Forza Horizon 5 since launch, which is super exciting. So, we're going to go over here. Torben, I want you to tell me a little bit about Drift Club, what it is and why it is so exciting.
Well, it's the return of a fan favourite character, Rob Glenn, probably the nerdiest Welshman who ever drifted a car sideways.
Love nerdy Welshman.
Sure. But it's a lot of fun, not only because it's a fun story with a real focus on taking cars sideways, but also because it let us work really closely with Vaughn Gittin Jr. and RTR and showcase an absolutely wild SUV around the streets of Guanajuato.
Yeah, I think Rob Glenn, probably Wales' fourth most important export.
After Tom Jones.
Tom Jones, Flags with Dragons on, train stations with really long names. Rob Glenn, he's right up there.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Confirmed. So
Okay.
we did see a little bit of this in Forza Monthly earlier, but for those who've missed it, catch us up. We have this wonderful new story, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. as well is involved in some capacity. You even had the pleasure of speaking to him earlier as well.
I did. People would have seen that if they've been on the channel for
Which, if you haven't, you should watch them, folks. It's the hour before, so come on. Anyway, what's this? Let's talk about this.
So we're meeting up with our old mate, Rob Glenn, who needs a bit of a hand looking at a car and how we take it sideways. But kind of stepping back from that, it's a brand new Horizon story added to the game, unlocks by completing the PR Festival Outpost.
Okay.
But also, if you play the game in the upcoming series, it's unlocked for you, even if you haven't done that. Let's jump in and play it. And it starts off with just kind of getting your willy back in and slaloming a car up and down the runway at the festival site.
Proper Forza style, huh?
Proper Forza style. So yeah, just reintroducing Rob and his absolutely wonderful take on the importance of lateral velocity and shortening a corner. But yeah, this is just like to get you kicked off. The other chapters that we do are really kind of, I think, channeling what a lot of players wanted, like long drifts in really cool cars in really exciting parts of the world. So
how do you come to select the cars? I mean, we'll see a couple of them as we go through the story, but is it a very detailed process, or do you know immediately what the right car is going to be?
There are a great many opinions about these cars.
I mean, there's not many opinions about this car. I think only one is acceptable. This is this is the kind of car that started it all. This is the absolute icon. The true now.
Yes.
So,
but when we kind of started breaking out what cars we were going to choose and how we were going to tell the story, there were a lot of people who had opinions about that, because surprisingly there are a lot of people in this company who have really vocal opinions about what cars to choose.
And we love them for it.
We do. But this chapter basically takes you through almost like a sampling of the classics like the Trino, through a bunch of Formula Drift cars. The Nismo is in this as well. Maybe we can take a look at that chapter really quickly. And just to kind of showcase the way that drifting is developing, with the end goal of trying out what maybe is the future of drifting, which is...
it's that lovely electric vehicle we saw earlier,
you say little, it is an absolute beast.
So I have to travel over to the reservoir, don't I?
Yes, because that's where the next chapter is.
Okay.
And just smashing a few paint crates around.
Paint crates, yes, that's one of the collectibles from the festival playlist.
Yes.
Is it
Which
this
one we dive
Yeah,
into?
that one, Reservoir Drift.
Cool.
Reservoir Drift.
So what's special about this one? How come we're checking this one out?
It's the car which we really went back and forth on for a really long time, but basically decided that we were going to bring forward a really modern Nissan that was added to the game in Series 5. And
actually became available today.
Yeah.
Became available today and showcased here as well. But built and tuned by Michele on our vehicle handling team as kind of his contribution to what drifting is and how you build cars to drift. Now, you can see this is 150,000 drift points for 1 star.
I mean, to me, someone who, admittedly, I've said a few times, isn't great at drifting, that's very intimidating, that score.
Yes.
But as we can see, this is a cumulative score.
It is a cumulative score. You clock it up over time. But the drives are quite long. This is one of the shorter ones, only about 2 miles, but we've got a 7-mile drift down the volcano later on in rather a nice Formula Drift car. But it's just an opportunity to just go deep on throwing cars around corners and enjoying the best way around a corner. There's a couple of unique rewards associated with it, including...
That was a good one until then.
Yeah, until I crashed, yeah. That's enough for that.
Yes. Maybe we can go and take a look at it in Festival Playlist.
Yes, okay.
Just talking about the rewards that are associated with it.
Sneak peek at Festival Playlist, so no peeping at the rest of it. We'll talk about that later.
Cover your eyes, everyone.
Yeah.
There you go. Just that one there. Don't look at the rest.
Yes. So completing the story, like playing through it and getting out the other side, will unlock the Mach-E for you, which is you get a chance to drive it in its natural environment, where it is almost intimidating. I really enjoyed it. But as part of Festival Place, we can get back to how it interacts with that later.
I think bears reiterating, for the duration of this series, you can access it here via the Festival Playlist.
Yes.
After that, it gets unlocked part of the normal campaign.
Yeah. You complete the expedition that builds the PR Stunt Festival, and it unlocks on the map at the festival. The main festival site. So
we're going to be diving into now the last event in the story.
We're jumping forward in time so that we can take a look at the Mach-E. Yeah.
Yes. We don't start with a Mach-E.
No.
We start with the Hoonigan RSRX that has a kind of a strong association with Guanajuato.
It does. So this is one of Ken Block's cars, and Ken Block made a pretty famous video in which he tore up the streets and tunnels of Guanajuato in this.
Oh, amazing. I must have missed that. That sounds really good. I'm going to go find it afterwards.
Yes. You don't need to find it, because you can just play this. And
that's very true. I could just go on Game Pass and install this game and then do it myself. Very good.
I mean, we really went to town on this. I think you and I were reviewing it, and we're like, let's go as far down this road as we can to make it feel like you were really homaging what Ken Block did here, reworking the routes and laying in a a bunch of really cool things, including a couple of Easter eggs to what it was that Ken himself did.
So Ken just nudged that pinata with the back of his car. I hit the wall just before it. Went better in rehearsal.
That is a really, really difficult corner to nail. That.
I'm glad you've said that. I'm going to remember that when I eventually mess it up.
Yeah, there's no like gameplay requirement that you hit that pinata. It's just it was in the video, so I tried to do it.
Yes. And kind of the experience that we're building here is kind of driving this classic hoonigan car around Guanajuato and then stepping into the Mach-E and seeing what that can do.
Okay. So that's the reward once you've presumably drifted to the destination.
Precisely, yes. Once you complete the entire story, that car unlocks, but you get a chance to drive it with an upgrade preset built by Chris.
Ah, okay. Chris, who's going to be on the show later, Chris.
Yes.
Spoilers alert.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Nice corner. Here we go. Stunning.
On a corner, and then now we swap over and kind of introduced to at least Ford's proposal for what the future of drifting is. I'm always struck by just how big that car is.
It is a bit of a beast, isn't it?
The light on the logo as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It weighs about 17 tons as well.
Which makes its performance all the more mind-boggling.
Should we take it out for a bit of a spin?
Here we go.
There you have it.
God, look at the size of the spoiler on it as well.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Was customized by drift legend and engineering wizard Mr.
So Mach-E 1400, 1400 indicating its horsepowerage.
Yes.
So it's slightly more powerful than the retail version of the Mach-E by about 900 horsepower.
Yeah, just a little more.
Just a little more. A little more.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, so seven motors to make that 1400 horsepower. It looks absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, the like retail version of Mach-E does not come in with that glowing horse either, which is, I think, a real shame.
RGB horse on it.
RGB makes everything better.
Yes,
Remember
It
that?
does indeed, and clearly it does.
So another cool feature of this car, Torben, and you can see it in the bottom right of the screen there, is that the actual car itself has a button that you can flick to toggle between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, and that's something that you've made use of in this story?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, those 7 motors that you were talking about, right? There are 3 pushing the front and 4 pushing the back wheels.
Okay.
And by pushing a button, you can swap the car into rear-wheel drive, which is makes it a substantially more agile drift vehicle. And part of the story was like showcasing that. So you drive it in all-wheel drive first, and then as we come up on the destination here, just around this corner, we'll be prompted to swap it over into rear-wheel drive, and the change is really delightful.
God,
When we get round the corner.
You got this
Yeah.
side. You got this side. That's fine.
I think this is something I'm quite excited about because, again, just to reiterate, I don't know a lot about drift cars. I know it's something that people are really passionate about, so I actually really appreciate that we're going to get this moment to feel both ways of drifting in this car, because I don't know how I would be able to quantify, you know, wheel versus rear wheel, but actually being able to feel that shift in the car is intriguing.
So it functions similarly to a convertible. There is no opening top on this particular car.
Yeah.
We're just clicking a button, does the conversion, and now it's all of that 1400 horsepower is just going to the rear, which makes it a very, very slidey boy.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Mike, but the first time that I drove this and squeezed the accelerator on it just spun out. It's got so much
Which
power.
one of those is it?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's by design that it does that. And it's. I watched the video where Ken Block drove it, and there's this moment just at the start where his face just does like this. And I mean, obviously this is a game, so the experience is perhaps not quite as visceral as the one he had, but it's. I definitely felt that. What is this car?
Yeah.
So obviously this is a one-of-a-kind car built by Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his team at RTR. Obviously it is based on the retail version of the Mach-E, a car that is actually made in Mexico. So there is a real connection there as well.
Full circle moment.
Yes. I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of some of the scores that people will pull off on stream on these chapters, because they're designed to be real opportunities for people who love drifting to showcase numbers.
There's some real
getting
drifters in
bigger.
the community as well. I mean, Giuseppe, I'm sure you see them all
Well, I
the
don't think
time.
anyone's going to beat this 76,000. That's going to take some doing.
There is an entire community about it. They just like meet. They record videos. They do rendezvous, and it's amazing. It's a world apart. And it's like one of the many community inside the community.
I was
that you
literally
have.
about to say that.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
the people who are just dedicated to the drift life.
They know so much stuff that when you read what they're talking about, it's like, okay, all right. I need to inform myself first because I don't want to get into the conversation if I don't inform myself
Sure,
first.
sure.
But just the fact that it will burn rubber if you just floor the accelerator is wild.
I remember that was something actually that Vaughan mentioned on the Forza Monthly, and that the wonderful thing about it being in the game is that you have an unlimited supply of fuel and tyres, which he doesn't have in real life.
Yes. And you don't have to wait for it to recharge.
Exactly. Very true. Very true.
Yes. Even though, yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
That is stunning. And with the new story, that does mean that we also have some new cosmetics. And thankfully, good old Robert Glenn was able to merchandise the Drift Club pretty well. So we're going to check out some of those items once we get past this. But just to also let you know, there are some new horns, so have a look for them throughout the playlist. But we're going to leave it up to you guys to find them this month while we check out the merchandise.
Let's go. Go home.
And these are all found and earned through the playlist as well, that's correct?
Some of it comes from Drift Club.
Okay.
There's a T-shirt you get off the first chapter.
Okay.
And then for earning 3 stars on every chapter, that isn't a trivial experience.
Sure.
Well, not trivial for me. I'm certain the drifters in the community will be like, who designed this? Who difficulty balanced this? Trivial! And I'll be like, whimpering under my desk. But for doing that, earning 3 stars on everything, which is also what you do to complete the festival playlist, you unlock a Drift Club race suit and a helmet.
Let's have a look. This one?
Yes,
Ooh,
indeed,
very nice.
that one.
Drift
Oh,
Club.
that looks great.
That's cool. Cool graphic.
Yes. And there's a T-shirt for completing the first chapter. So it's kind of a bunch of cosmetics for doing that, and there are some others as well, but unlocked through the festival playlist.
Awesome.
Have I already unlocked it?
Yes. It'll be down in the legendary epic.
Oh, I can go near that far and then turn around. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
President.
President of going sideways. Very good.
Yes, okay.
The outfit as well? Maybe the outfit? I'm sure the outfit.
The race suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that for 3 stars.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome, wonderful. So we also have new cars, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream as well. So should we check out what those are as well? Who wants to chat me through the new cars?
Well, I don't think we're going to do all the cars
No.
just yet.
Ooh, oh, I love that. We're really changing
Are we
things
starting
up
off
today.
with the McLaren?
Yes.
This
okay.
guy.
Sounds good.
Oh boy.
In fact, is this the one that was teased on the wonderful return of Torben Tuesday? Which
You
I'm
guys-
looking at you two for being responsible for.
You guys got some explaining to do here.
Well, it's nice to play, with numbers and stuff, and we were very super happy, you can even say that, super happy about bringing back Torben Tuesday after, what, a year, more or less, from the last time?
We've missed it.
Yeah, exactly, and so the community. And it was amazing to see all the responses. I'm not sure if everything has been figured out, Torben.
So, I mean, full disclosure, those numbers were really just a little bit too spicy. We were kind of working through what we'd put on the board.
Yeah.
And someone who is not on this stream, but in this room, said that, can't we encrypt them just a little bit more? And I said, okay. So I won't go into details of exactly how we did that, but...
I think you owe it to the community at this point.
Okay.
Give us the solution.
The numbers are in octal. If you do an octal to text conversion, you will get Roman numerals. From the Roman numerals and the contextual hits, this is the long tail, and its number was pictured alongside a long tail statistical graph.
Okay.
That would...
Take your word for that, yeah.
yes. Yes.
You have it.
The levels of nerdery are truly
Yes,
outstanding
yes.
today. I love it.
This is what happens when I leave you on your own.
But it was all worth it because here we are and now we have this.
Yes, the long tail.
So why is it called long tail? Catch me up.
Because
Is it because it has a really long tail?
it has a slightly longer tail.
All right, okay.
Long tail is a name given to some of the kind of the greatest McLarens of all time.
Okay.
Older McLarens had especially long tails. This one is a little bit longer than the standard 765. So 765 LT, as you said, for long tail.
Yep.
765 because it has 765 horsepower.
I see what they're doing there.
Yeah. And also they're only making 765 of them.
I see.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
They're very clever over there, aren't they?
but as with all the long tails, it is just absolutely built for extreme performance.
Sure.
It's a high performance version of the 765, so all of the inside is, as you can see, it's Alcantara, it's carbon weave, it's all super lightweight, all kind of designed, I guess, for track performance, but then sold as a road legal high performance car that if you are a lover of McLarens, then maybe you could go and purchase this in real life. Alternatively, as if you're not one of those 765 lucky people that gets that opportunity, you can collect it in Forza Horizon 5.
And how would you do that?
That's the question.
How would
do you get it?
It is in the festival playlist.
What do you have to do in the festival playlist?
It is, if I recall correctly.
Well, Torben's forgotten, so we'll cover that a little bit later on.
Yes. I can't remember these things. I'm too busy
I think
translating Octal in my head.
Summer 20 points, I think.
Yes.
I think you might be right.
Because you know quite literally everything. Wonderful.
No.
It's what community managers are like, though. Me and you, we get it. You just have to know everything, don't you?
We try, but
we do try. We really do.
Nobody knows everything, but no, it's cool. Nice.
All right. So what's next?
Up next, we have EventLab.
Oh gosh! All right.
We mentioned this last month. Ignore this.
Why, I'm
I think
slow.
they've been adding props over the last few updates, but with Series 6, I hear you've added a little bit more. I'm not sure if costumes.
Right. Doing science
Got to be
now.
safe.
Doing science.
Going to the lab.
What's going on with this? Does this make any sense? Why?
No, nothing makes sense.
EventLab.
Nothing makes sense.
Well, we'll just move the really good award out the way as well.
EventLab, yes.
Yes.
Ooh,
I like it.
So, what's the screens?
Do I not get a pair of goggles?
We've changed feeds early.
There is one there.
Okay. Sorry,
there is
Charlie. Can we switch the screens back? Sorry, we went slightly early.
Right, here we go.
Yes, we got carried away with science.
Comfy.
All right, I'm all in.
Right,
Wonderful.
now that we're
in, what's this?
We can take a look at EventLab. So, got a pretty big update for EventLab this series. I'll jump over to an event so we can start building. Torben, do you want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
What have you been cooking up in the lab, Torben?
Absolutely nothing compared to what players have been putting
Oh,
together.
well, that's true.
So
Yeah.
I think probably what I'm most excited about in this update is a bunch of the new props that we've added that kind of, I think, fall into two different categories.
Okay.
One of them are like the structural things that help you build the platforms you're going to play on. Something that players have been using lots of different things to do. And we've added some that we can take a look at that just allow you to build the surfaces that you want to do your event on.
Sure.
If you want to make something that isn't like explicitly along a road, something like that.
Yeah, so Giuseppe spends a lot of time on Reddit and the Discord, checking out stuff people have made. I mean,
exactly, and it's incredible because there are so many. I mean, you saw one if you watched the monthly already with Vuku. What
oh my goodness me!
That guy can do.
The potential that he shows off, astounding.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about EventLab community is that you have different types of creators. So you just don't have those that, for example, do the races. We have spoilers we can have in the playlist. One of the EventLab where you actually made with the sole purpose of making photos because the light is amazing and this is just new types of EventLab. And I personally noticed, and also the rest of the community team, that since we had the update about the EventLab that you can actually save your design, the quality of the EventLab
by the way.
when like skyrocketed. And so we have people that make drift types of tracks. We have Vuku, we have so many other creators and the emotion. I'm very emotional, I can't remember them all, but I can tell you straight away there are so many. And what we do is we update the PG's editor choice every week with a few entries. And
are you part of the team that finds those?
Yes, basically me and the rest of the community team, which collect some of the best blueprints that we can find. Actually, if you want to let us know that you made a really nice blueprint, just go on social media, use the hashtag Horizon Moment. Let us know. Share your code with us. We're gonna check it, and then I pass that to the design, and they look at it. Yeah, cool. Let's have it, and then we put it in. And
good.
it's incredible.
And you have a Discord that you live in as well.
There is on Discord as well. There's a channel in the official Forza Discord where you have an area to share. But there is also a Reddit channel dedicated to just to event labs. So it's incredible. There's lots of stuff. There's so many good event labs that it's difficult to choose.
And now there's even more stuff coming along that they're going to be able to play with. You're having fun putting a ton of random stuff down. What have you done here?
Well, I think one of the things that I know a lot of people are asking for was just general building blocks.
Okay.
So, as well as bushes, trees, and dinosaurs like we had at launch, it was like, I'm trying to build some sky fortress that I want people to climb around. I could really do with some building block shaped pieces. So we added some more multicolored shipping containers. We'll come back to those in a second. Like just some concrete slabs so you can make kind of floor surfaces out of them. These decals as well, so if you need to direct the player around, you can put some painted decals down. There is loads in there. How many new assets total, do you know?
Lots.
Loads.
Many.
Yeah.
59, I think.
59 plus colour variants.
Stepping up again.
With colour variants, it's way more
I might
than
be able to tell you one here, actually. I think there's 6 new ramps and platforms, 3 new signs and flags, Outpost branded towers in the festival tab, 7 new walls and fences. There was some stuff added in Series 5 for gameplay tab, and there are 9 shipping containers in the industrial tab.
Cool. And these shipping containers as well, they look cool enough in daytime. If we drop the feed ever so for 2 seconds while I'm
going to do some live show magic a second. I want to know what it is. Is this the reason why we're all dressed up today? Is the magic you're about to do?
This whole science thing is the magic.
Yes.
I feel like this needs to be a theme now. If every month we're showing off new event lab stuff, I am expecting full uniform in order to do so.
Safety first.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of crazy possibilities in event lab. You need to make sure that
you're safe.
You're safe, exactly.
Yeah. So we're back to the monstrosity you made earlier.
That's the wall I left. Anyway.
But I mean, you can see the lighting. Those are the containers from the street racing festival, and you put down one of the towers as well because we've seen people making their takes on events of various sorts, and there's literally no reason why we want them to make things that really feel like they're part of the festival.
Yeah, so if you set your races tonight, you just have loads more lighting opportunities now to create. And you can just see how it creates those really beautiful puddles of light as well. So loads more creative opportunities there.
Absolutely.
There's going to serve 2 types of community. The ones that are making the props for taking photos, and the virtual photography community, because they're going to use a lot of these neon lights.
I mean, look at the lights just on the back of this, as it is. It looks absolutely incredible. I love it. We have a Gareth's example that we wanted to go through as well.
Over here.
Yes. Okay.
And just
This
is how instructions from Gareth apparently.
Okay,
yeah, and then there's just a splash of.
Whoa!
There we go.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Get some science going.
Right.
What does this have to do
I
with
didn't know
that
that was going to do
It's
that.
green, and there's some green there.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent segue. I'm going to back away from that.
Oh, that's what the towels were for. Right. I'm all caught up now. Surprising me.
Science. I mean, if we could swap the feeds, we'll do the Gareth event.
So what's this Gareth? Is Gareth someone who works here? Is Gareth from some of the community?
Oh,
Who's
yes.
Gareth?
So Gareth is just a big lover of all things science, and he spends
That's what we all look at us.
He spends a huge amount of time in EventLab. He was one of the producers who ran the feature. He just loves like chemistry and science stuff as well. So he said, mix these, and I was kind of like, is this going to explode? And he said, maybe.
I know he's not in the building currently.
He has actually gone home. I wonder why.
Just to safeguard himself.
It's starting to make a weird smell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like some vinegar. Kind of. Can I have a salad at the end of the show?
But it's because, like the actual science, or the weird science that we're doing here, is because there isn't just new props. There's also things like the ability to mess with gravity as part of the
Gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
Mess with the fundamental rules of science itself.
The laws of science and nature are now no longer things we consider in Forza. Right. Okay.
So there's a few new rules which allow you to manipulate the gravity. You can increase gravity, obviously forcing your car to hug the ground. You can decrease gravity, allowing you to shoot off into the stratosphere.
Okay. I'm currently waiting to see what this means.
So the event that Gareth has built here, I have to collect crates. You can see the
gravity cannon.
The gravity cannon, yes. Collect crates to power up the gravity cannon. I could go and show you the regular gravity version of it, but I'll trust people are familiar with how that works. So let me just smash So this is a real event that's you'll be able to play on your home Xbox if you wanted to get an idea.
The share code. I don't know if it's going to be put into chat.
We're gonna put this in from tomorrow from the PG Editor's Choice, so people can find it.
Perfect. Oh, there's one at the top of there as well.
Oh, this is going to mess
Actually, not tomorrow. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
There's no rewind, Gareth.
Are you going to have another go?
Well, I need to because it's part of the game mode.
Right, slow and steady.
No. I'm thinking that ramp is slightly off centre.
Okay, here we go.
But I mean, getting fired up into the air, that can like show bad stuff, can't it?
Okay.
And people will have seen that before. Did I just miss it?
I think you went right over the top.
No, I got it.
Thank God.
It says there's only one left.
Great to me.
Right, okay, one more. There we go. Yes, so people have seen it. Sometimes you're jumping off danger signs, or you're in someone's EventLab creation, they've made a ramp that goes up and touches the sky. Sometimes when you just jump over a small grassy hill, parts of the world will drop out and you can see all the sky beneath the world. So with this update, we've been able to fix that as well. It's just on the series consoles and high-end PC, but you'll no longer see that stuff, which does give you a little bit more freedom with an EventLab. People used to do some quite cool solutions for that. Like if you were building a huge sky ramp, you turn on fog so that it kind of masks that issue. But helpfully,
Okay.
Right, so as you'll now see.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
This is with current gravity 0.1, it says over there. So I think I'm going to completely miss that.
I think
that's the end point over there.
You've proved the gravity point perfectly, though.
I think I'll change the TikTok description. Actually, we have a TikTok chart.
Nice.
If you want to go and watch it, some content. The description is cargo brr. I think I'm gonna change it to cargo. Or what's the
Cargo Miss Burr?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
cargo flying or something.
You should work on social media, Tom, and it was very good.
Well, you know,
and memes.
memes is good. You know, people made already memes with Torben.
Yes.
Which is good.
I am aware.
Did you know your email?
I am aware.
Should we create a green screen version of that so we can?
Please no.
Right.
Please don't.
No.
So is there more science we can expect to come to EventLab? Is there anything else you've got up your sleeve today?
Nothing else to reveal today. I will say this is a fairly silly implementation of turning gravity down to 0.1. There's actually a lot you can do by turning it up and just keeping the cars sticking to the ground.
Sure.
So there's quite a lot of creativity that you can exploit with this. In terms of the future, as I say, Giuseppe spends a lot of time on Reddit, on Discord, on all of our socials, chatting to the community, and honestly listening to hear what it is that people are missing. A lot of those props that we saw there were driven from that. It was people in the community saying, we kind of need building block type pieces, and we did it. So there is a channel there where people can go and tell us what they want, and we'll continue to update the feature.
Absolutely. So just feel free, just come and let us know what would you like to be implemented. Obviously, there's no guarantee it's going to be implemented, but I'm going to get all the feedback. We're going to get all the feedback, going to pass them, and then depending, on.
And now we have a face and a name behind the channels. I'm fully expecting, if not imploring everyone in chat, on TikTok, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere where you think you might find a Giuseppe, say hi Giuseppe in the comments. I think it'd just be nice to meet you, maybe.
But it's also very important to know that the community team is not just me. It's just a lot of lovely people that work alongside me. So I couldn't do anything without them. So just
amazing. What a bunch. Well, thank you for joining us today. Your very first Forza Horizon stream. I'm sure we'll see you again. But now we're going to swap you in for the equally wonderful Chris. Are we staying in full EventLab?
No. Science over.
I suppose the new uniform. Chris isn't caught up, so there we go. Anyway, Chris, you're right, my darling. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. Yeah,
wonderful.
Good.
What have you been up to recently?
I'm playing a lot of GT7 at the minute.
Oh, okay, very good. It's a nice welcome break from the fact that everyone I normally talk to on the show is playing Elden Ring. So that's unless you're also playing Elden Ring.
I'm not actually. No.
Oh, you gave me a look then that you were. Okay, wonderful. Right, this is the part of the show I'm now also very excited for because you're joining us to talk about Horizon Open, which has had a massive makeover. So collectively, shall we all take a look at these new changes?
So Horizon Open is the multiplayer, the traditional multiplayer feature that we launched the game with, and people have been telling us that they'd like to see some tweaks and changes there, and this is the update where they'll get to see our interpretation of that. So let's let's jump in. So first of all, we jump over to online. First change, it's small, but you may notice that Eliminator has popped up to the top level of the pause menu.
One less click to get onto that.
One less click to get to Eliminator, but we're not talking about that today. Instead, we're going to jump into the Horizon Open. And the first thing you'll notice here that's different is that panel on the left-hand side. You can see my gamer tag at the top, and I'm currently level 7. So that's
level 7 what?
Level 7 in Horizon Open.
Wow, that was a weird thing to say. Sorry. Let's just push on. Let's push on.
Oh, Torben, you're so wonderful. You're just in your own show, aren't you?
So that's a level separate from my general play level. You can see at the top there, I'm level 74. So this is a level that exists for all of the activities you do within the Horizon Open. So you can take part in any of these, and completing that will earn you XP. That XP feeds into that level. And at the bottom of the screen there, you can see that my next reward for leveling up to level 10 is a badge for the grand opening. It's that little helmet there.
Oh, that helmet is the badge, is it?
That is the badge.
Ooh,
A little more about badges later on. We'll come back to that. Keep that in mind.
Sure.
And we'll come back to that. So some of this will be fairly familiar. So you've got open racing, open drifting, playground games. That kind of all functions as it did. Then over here you have custom racing. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for, and so we're really happy to bring it back. Within here, you can then select the specific type of racing that you are looking for. So you can go on road racing, dirt, cross-country, street. And then you can adjust the performance class as well.
Sure.
We don't have all the performance classes in there, though.
We don't know. So based on our experiences in FH4, some of these would effectively never really get a hit. So if you were going cross-country in D class, it would be really unlikely that somebody else would be searching for that at the same time, and therefore that lobby would never form, and you could sit there with it at the top of the screen and it kind of could feel broken. So based on that, we've kind of gone with the ones that people actually used. So
you watch now as everyone's going to want to do cross-country in a D class.
I mean, probably someone's already tweeted me that they want that. But the reason we do that is kind of just to protect that experience and not just leave it hanging. All of these on Horizon 4 were popular enough that you'd get a game pretty much straight away in most cases. Are we jumping in right now? Are we going to actually do it? Is that, I don't know.
So we could do a demo if you want.
I think so. I'm going to...
Yeah, we can give it a go.
Do it live.
Let's do it live. Let's hope that there is somebody else clicking search now and I've not gone completely off script.
So to reiterate, this is now anyone else who's selected via custom to do this race. You'll get paired up and you'll go and do something together.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of rolling lobbies, so you
Okay.
sign up, and when there's enough, just fires it off and you go.
Okay, cool.
So I did S1 Road. Hopefully there's somebody else in our building who's also clicked that, because this is a pre-release server and there's nobody else online.
Someone did a conch shell, let them know.
They did, that's
there
lucky.
We go.
So once released, something like that, S1 Racing would just be up all the time. There would always be a server in that. Some of the less popular ones you might sometimes have to wait a little bit, but it shouldn't ever be too much. So after this, the flow is kind of similar to Horizon Open, except it always sticks to this PI class and the race type that you've picked.
Cool, okay.
So if you really just want to binge S2 asphalt racing, because we know a lot of people do.
All you want to do, yeah, love it.
This is where you go.
And there were some other elements in there as well. We also saw a leaderboard tab, and you told me you come back to the badges, so I'm going to hold you accountable to that. So just making sure we remember those to get back to them. And this is actually, as I should ask, as someone who plays Forza quite a lot in convoys, I'm unfamiliar with the process. Is this something where if I was in a convoy with a bunch of friends, we could then just go roll into this together? I wouldn't hop out and just go do it myself.
That's correct. So yeah, everyone in the convoy would follow the leader. So the leader picks the race type they want to do, and once it's found that session, everybody goes with them. If you're in a convoy of 12, then it would just set you up.
And it just selects random races from across the game
that match the criteria that you set up.
So let's see if actually anybody else is here. Oh, there is. Oh, wow.
I recognise some of the names in there.
Wow.
Alien Biscuits, I know him. That's Giuseppe.
We got some badges there.
There are some badges, yes. Yeah. The Lucky Clover one, that looks a bit new, doesn't it? And off you go. There is everyone. Working hard.
It's got a DeLorean there.
With the badge appears in-game as well on top of the cars with a name.
They do. So you can see there. So Alien Biscuits with his flower.
Oh, look at them all. That's so good. It's nice.
That's what you get when you just tap the brakes on a straight, so you can try and look at them.
It's really nice seeing those little splashes of colours in the name as well. I don't know, just add something. It's really nice.
So the car I'm driving isn't new in this update, but it is new today.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this went live about 3 hours ago. Chris is
about
here.
it then,
Chris,
we?
do you want to talk about this car?
Yeah.
Yes, I spoke about it on the Season 5 stream. So it's the 2020 Nissan GTR.
It is
Nismo?
2020.
It is
2020, yeah,
2020, yeah. Yeah, so Nismo, it stands for Nissan Motorsport, and it denotes like the kind of track performance versions of their cars. And being a GTR, a performance version of a GTR is really quick. So this one, they really went to so their philosophy behind this car is lots of small incremental changes make up to something much bigger. So I can't remember the numbers, but it's things like they've reduced the weight of the wheels by like 3.6 kilos. Like they've changed some of the carbon fiber construction on the body panels to bring weight down by a couple of kilos. So the weight savings, like I think it's about 50 kilos overall, which is actually quite a bit. Also powers up. They also changed the turbos to the turbos from the GT3 race car, so they're more responsive. So again, it's just all about really small changes, but they build up to something that is
big
much
difference.
more
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah.
You also built a drift version of this for the story.
Yeah.
Oh, so you build specific drift models for the story. It's not just like a stock car that's put in.
Yeah. So obviously drifting requires different things from a car. So we go in and we build what we call upgrade presets. Basically, we pre-tune the car to be used in the story. So in the case of a GTR, it's all-wheel drive. First thing you want to do is make it rear-wheel drive, because drifting is easier in a rear-wheel drive car. And then I'm pretty sure I went in and added a lot more power. I think it's about 900 horsepower in the story as well.
Is there any fear in sort of presenting the drifting community with what you believe is the best build or drift build for a car?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got personal taste with drifting.
Sure,
I think
yeah.
some people like, earlier on we had the Hachiruku, the Torino. A lot of people just like it on its stock tyres, just kind of similar horsepower, stock suspension, sliding it around in the wet.
Yep.
Some people like me like to build 1200 horsepower monsters and go sliding up and down the volcano road.
Well done, Jingle Jangle Joe, by the way. You on-screen
I think
win.
we expected him to win, right?
Are we going to take part in the rest of the races, or are we going to leave them to it?
I think that we should maybe go look at some other cars.
Yeah, okay, that's a good shout. I'll tell you what, while we're setting that up, there are some new cars that Car Pass owners can expect in Series 6. Do you want to walk us through what those would be, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So Car Pass this month, we've got to complement the 765 LT. We also have the McLaren 620R, sorry, get the number right, which is, so I'm talking about a GT3 car a second ago, it's actually a kind of a road version of the GT4 race car, but unlike in GT4 where there's restrictions, they can only have 500 horsepower or so, the 620 has obviously 600, actually I think it's 614 horsepower, because the number earlier that you said is the PS. It's the European standard for horsepower.
2% difference.
Yeah. So it's about 612 horsepower, I think. And you can have it with slicks and things like that. So it actually makes it an incredibly precise, fast car. So in Car Passes, are we going to run through these later on as well, or we just go through the ones?
Well, I was just trying to get out. I had to wait till I got into the race before I could quit. We'll jump into it now and just have a quick drive around.
The 620's also got a really cool livery on it as well.
Yes, it does.
Oh, does
looks
it?
really cool.
Oh, we're in the wrong game, aren't we? We need to be in... Change the feed, change the feed.
Change the feed. Is this so? Talk me through, because I'm very intrigued now about this livery. Is this something that comes with the car? Did you design it? Why has it got a cool livery?
So a lot of the time, when we source cars, we'll make them with the livery that was on it when we sourced them. A bit race cars, we do that. All the drift cars, for example. The car we sourced for the 620 had kind of McLaren's press livery on it, and it's a really nice orange and silver livery. And we decided we would keep it on the car because it does look really good.
Interesting. All right, where is it?
Right.
I'm looking for like an orange livery.
Are we doing...
Don't have it. You might have to
Oh, no,
debug into it.
this guy.
Oh, it is.
Oh, there we go. That was quite nice, that was. It was like a faded effect. It was a different colour at the front. Clearly, I'm a technical expert on this. Different colours on the front, but oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, I love this thing.
Wow.
It drives really well too. So it's like a really focused version of the, I think they call it the Sports Series McLaren. So the normal one's 570 horsepower. There's an LT version of this car as well, the 600 LT. This one's one further from the LT. So the LT normally is the most extreme one. And here, this is the most extreme one. So it is literally, they took their GT4 car, slightly rounded the edges off of it, gave it another 120 horsepower because that's always cool. And you can drive these on the road, which is fantastic.
This is road legal, is it?
This is road legal, yeah. I think they even put a third brake light in the wing so that they could make the wing road legal. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because the GT4 car doesn't have that. They did that just to make it road legal.
That's an interesting tip. Thank you for showing us that as well. Our wonderful assistant. What other cars have we got to look at then?
So I think another one to jump into is the Olds Tornado, 1966 Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, no,
I abbreviate.
you're reading the name from code.
A little bit. So this is really cool. This is a very cool car in many ways. Firstly, it's just got that amazing 60s styling. I love the look of this thing. That front end is just...
It looks so dangerous.
It's not pedestrian
really
safe
good.
at all.
It almost looks like trying to give him a bit of a hug, but then it's sharp. It's a sharp hug.
It's an evil hug, yeah. So this thing's really weird because this is front-wheel drive.
Okay.
Oh.
But unlike most front-wheel drive cars, which have like an inline-4 engine because packaging works, no, this has a 7-litre or 425 cubic inch engine, and then the weirdest transmission layout I've ever seen. So it's normally your transmission goes in the back of the engine in most cars. This, off the torque converter, which is like a clutch, there's a chain that goes to the transmission, which then sends power to the wheels. Because it made sense in the 60s. Front-wheel drive wasn't really a thing in the 60s.
Okay.
Obviously, the classic Mini kind of made front-wheel drive a thing. This was another interpretation on it.
Yeah, but you put like 4 minis in that thing.
Just in the engine bay. I mean, it was the first US front-wheel drive car since, I think, 1938. Someone's going to pull me up on that one. And this was eventually went on to become a bit more of a common thing. And you can still buy V8 powered front-wheel drive cars in the United States, which is, for everyone in Europe, a very strange concept, having a 6-litre V8 front-wheel drive car.
What modern car has got a 6-litre V8 front-wheel drive setup? Sorry to just like throw you under the bus there.
I want to say the modern Impala, I think, is a front-wheel drive V8, yeah.
I'm sure chat will...
yeah, I will get
well.
corrected and told I'm wrong.
Yeah, they've already corrected it out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't see chat at the moment.
I know you can take an LS and make it front-wheel drive.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I've seen some people have made... You take that and also put it in the rear, and you can have 2 LSs and all-wheel drive, which is pretty cool. Going back to this one, went off on a tangent. I love this as well because it's got that really cool 1960s suspension on it that's just super pillowy and comfortable. Leans over loads. Yeah. I really love this car. It's a very, very odd car, but very cool.
Nice. We got anything else you want to run through? What's next?
Should we jump into the Porsche 911 Speedster next? Mm-hmm. This is... I love this thing as well. So it's another convertible. Mm-hmm. This was another limited run car. I think they made 1,948 of them to celebrate the year the first ever Porsche was made. And you can have it with the roof down. So the head of the Porsche GT department gave the GT team a challenge in 2013 of making essentially this. He wanted it to be the lowest roofline Porsche they had in the current lineup, but also wanted it to be based on a GT3. So the underpinnings of this car are the last generation GT3, the 99. Okay. I think it's the 991.2 is the underpinnings of it. So you've got the glorious 4-litre flat 6 that revs to 9,000 and something, 503 horsepower, I think, in this thing. But you've also got that reduced window. It's a convertible, so you can hear that amazing engine as well.
Are you enjoying this?
I am enjoying it. I'm admiring the fact that they've matched the stitching to the bodywork as well. It's a very Porsche thing to do. I also like that it's unusual in 911 to completely forgo the back seats, isn't it? That's,
yeah.
Usually you'd have, even in the convertible setups, you'd have some jokingly small back seats where you can,
just something.
put a handbag on. Yeah. But yeah, they've just gone, nope.
And I also love that rear shape as well. Like by getting rid of the seats, they can just take the roof line all the way up onto the back of the seat there and give it that really nice double bubble that you kind of see in classic speedsters.
Can I just put the roof back up?
Oh yeah, let's see this.
And the reason it's not animated is because in the real world you have to get out and take it off yourself.
Oh, interesting.
It was too heavy to make it electronic.
Oh, I wasn't going to ask because I thought it might have been a dev thing, but that's really interesting. I like that. Cool.
Yeah, so we animate it when it's mechanically possible to do so.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
The Bronco's another one, isn't it? Where the parts come off. It is convertible, but you kind of have to leave them in the garage or something. So
yeah, and our Bronco does the same thing. It fades the back so you can take the roof off.
Brilliant. So was there any more we wanted to run through?
Yeah, we have one more.
Yeah, one more. I thought there was.
For fans of hot hatches, I think this one's going to go down well. So you think hot hatch, and I think a lot of the time you think Mini. Mini was the original kind of hot hatch, I think. And we've got the latest and greatest version of that. I think it's the JCW GP, is the full name. So this is kind of going after the really high-end super saloons, super hot hatches we're seeing now. So I'm thinking Honda Civic Type R, the Megane trophies, the stuff that's setting really fast Nürburgring lap times. So you can see if you spin around, there's actually a lot of aero devices on this. So aerodynamics are now becoming a thing with hot hatches in terms of producing downforce. So we've got vents on the wheel arches, a wing, a diffuser, all of which helping build downforce, which faster lap times. So this is the most extreme Mini they've ever made. I think it's 305 horsepower, inline turbo, inline 4 turbo, and yeah, a fantastic car. I've actually seen a few of these on track days, and they're very quick cars.
Imagine this was another one of those fun ones to get in and like sort of figure it out, design it, get the sound.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm also a bit of a front-wheel drive fan, so whenever we get stuff like this, then I tend to jump on it and work on it.
Amazing. Right, well, these are all the new cars that we have coming, and as again, they are all new to Forza and they look stunning. There are still a couple new Series 6 cars coming to the playlist as well, so I don't know if you want to just whip through those really quickly, Chris, so we know what's coming up.
Yep, can do. So there is a little bit of a theme with the reward cars, which I'm not going to say until the end. So the first one is the Ascari, I keep getting it wrong, KZ1R.
It's a lot of numbers and letters.
It's a lot of numbers and letters. I always say them in the wrong order, that's why I have to look down and check. So Ascari, actually famous for, is a famous race car driver. He was the first, Alberto Ascari, I should say, was the first double world champion in Formula 1. And the company was named after that. The KZ part, just double checking, it is KZ, is named after the company's owner, Klaus Swart, I think. It uses a BMW V8, so glorious soundtrack, and it's a supercar, but also made quite close to where we are. It was built in Banbury.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
So yeah, even though it's got a very Italian name, built in Banbury, and. One of the best things about this is, so the R version is the track version, and when you bought one, you had the option to go and drive it around Ascari's racetrack resort in Spain, which is, it's my, like, it's just heaven for me.
That's bucket list stuff,
and you got to do that when you ordered one?
Yeah, I wish I did.
Don't do that. So perfect, we've got this one in the bag.
Yep, so remember this is a British car.
Yep.
So the next one is the ATS GT.
Okay. Which
is another kind of small production run supercar. ATS are an Italian company that started in the 60s actually. It was, I think it was 9 people from Ferrari. They left Ferrari and started their own company. Originally the intent was to go into F1. That didn't work too well. But they made a road car, the 2500 GT. It was, I think, one of, if not the first mid-engined road car, which is really cool. And then many, many years later, they came back and they've built this. incredibly beautiful car. I really love the design of this. And the underpinnings of this is a McLaren 650. So you get the amazing McLaren engine, platform, the really awesome suspension that McLaren use, but obviously with these nice Italian, nice Italian design on it. I love the rear end on this.
It's a different shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
Really
nice.
cool lights.
And we have one more car.
We
to
have
run
one
through
more,
as well.
which is,
loads of cars, chat.
funnily
Loads
enough,
of cars.
the McLaren 650 Spider.
More McLarens.
And I also have written here convertible.
Yes, this is another convertible.
Another convertible.
And to Mike's point earlier, this one, because it's a mechanical convertible,
You can just click the button.
There it is.
There we go.
so this was a car we had in FH4. Obviously, we had the roof down all the time there. I think in Forza Vista, you could put the roof up. Well, obviously now you can do it wherever you want and drive it around. Something I really love as well with this is our first convertible that has a wide body kit. So you can go in, you can do the Liberty Walk wide body kit, put the roof down. It looks so good.
Interesting, when the game was set in Britain, we forced everyone to have the roof down. And then when we go to Mexico, it's like, put that up again now, everyone.
That's just British thinking, though, isn't it? I've got a convertible. I will use a convertible.
Interesting fact. I think in Europe, it's Britain that buys the most convertibles.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's those type of people who've had 2 days of sun in England at the moment, and you know that they've spent more on petrol just so they can be on the road with it. Yeah.
I used to be one of those people that even in the winter, it's like, oh, sun's out, roof down on my MX-5.
You'd be freezing, but the roof would be down.
Well, MX-5s have amazing heaters. It's great.
Even with the roof down?
Yeah.
In winter. Okay, mate, cool.
So yeah, tell us a bit more about the Spider.
Yep, so it's the McLaren 650, obviously, with the convertible. One of the things I love with McLaren, so normally when you take a roof off the car, you take a lot of the torsional rigidity from the body. McLaren don't have that problem because they use a carbon tub. They're one of the few manufacturers where the kind of core of the car is a fully carbon fibre tub, it's called, so like the monocoque. And that's so stiff that they can pull the roof off of it without having to worry too much on... normally the thing you do is you just up the spring rates on the car. McLaren don't have to do that here. And it also doesn't add any weight because there's no extra reinforcement to the chassis as well. Everything else is pretty much McLaren 650, so you've got, I'm just going to call it 650 PS power.
Nobody uses PS, Chris. Just round it up.
650 horsepower.
There we go.
And yeah, phenomenal car to drive as well.
Yeah, it looks it. So with that energy, shall we dive into the festival playlist? God, we've done so much already. Now we're getting to the festival playlist. The theme, I know there really is. The theme, we mentioned it a couple of times, is Horizon Customs. So what does that mean for the playlist, folks?
So this festival playlist is all about celebrating the incredible work that our community do and the awesome stuff that they bring to the game. So we're going to see some really, really kind of quite spectacular EventLab content. Also worth a note is that some of the photos that we're using in the playlist, so usually these are photos of the cars that we've taken ourselves, but here we're able to showcase some of the awesome photos that the community have taken. So
will the community know that they're going to be featured before it's there, or is it a surprise? Like Adam Igor.
Adam Igor Xbox, if he's watching, will have found out right now.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so all the content is focusing on, well, not all the content, but a lot of the content is focusing a majority of is focusing on all that great UGC that the community build for us. So we will step through it and then maybe we'll play a couple of those events and see what's going on there. So this is summer. So we've seen some of these cars already. So in fact, we should do the overall series, shouldn't we? Yeah. So overall series, 80 points, you get yourself the Honda NSXR GT. 160 points is the Ford GT40. Then into summer. So 20 points get you the Ascari that we just took a look at, and 40 points another shot at the Jaguar CX-75. Forton Weekly puts you in the Dodge Challenger. Forton Shop's got the McLaren F1 available in there, only 700 Forton points.
Not bad, not bad.
Cool. So what else? So these are the EventLabs. So again, these chaps won't know that they have been featured yet. So we have Apex Fuego and Shiny Odd featured there. We'll come, I think, have a look at the Apex Fuego one in a moment because it's really cool. Other notable things that you can win are a bunch of super wheel spins, another Honda NSX, and the Morgan freewheeler. Anything else we need to call out there? We've already seen Drift Club, so on to autumn. Torben, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're getting your McLaren 765 Longtail here for 20 points, and another shot at the Ferrari Enzo at 40 points. Stepping right, weekly Forzathon in the Miata. Wow, I love that car.
Sorry, we're done.
Yes. And another couple of EventLab offerings from James Miata and Tapaz Z87. Bounce House V2. Yeah, we had a joke about that because it's a bounce house. It was a
Bounce house.
Yes.
Apparently that's what Americans call a bouncy castle.
A bounce house.
A bounce house.
What do they think about the fact that we call it a bouncy castle then?
They just look at you.
A bounce house? But they look like castles. We don't need to go into this here.
We'll push on. We'll push on.
Fundamentally, I think they're incorrect, so I'll
Yes.
just put that out there.
Yes, but pushing on. That
Ford GT worth a call out. That's a hard to find car.
and a builder's helmet as well, if that's the kind of thing that you enjoy more than cars. A lot of cosmetics spread across the board here. Car horns as well, unlocks if you want to get your police siren on while you're hooning around the world. This is a lot of fun.
Base down low.
Yes.
I'm going to wheelie there.
Yeah,
so
yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
wheelie shot.
Very good.
Yes, just so much content. I just keep getting overwhelmed.
This
by
does feel a lot fuller, this playlist, than previous ones. It just reams of content as we go through it. It's amazing.
We've been trying out different mixes of stuff. Yeah. So.
And a thing that I really like as a designer for playlists now is that by adding more stuff, we're not like saying you have to do more things.
Yeah.
We're just offering you more routes to get the things that you
Yeah,
want.
for sure. Yeah, you can see there's 20 and 40 points to get the
Yes.
car, but there's up to 57 points up to grab, so you can mix and match
Exactly.
however you want. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we just took a look at the ATS GT, that's available for 20 points, and then the Porsche 911 GT1, which is a pretty expensive car, is available for just 40 points, so you can drop a few million credits on it, or you can complete some content in winter and get your hands on it. So, Forza Weekly Challenge in the Peel.
Back in the Peel,
Back in the Peel. Peel, it must be in the Forza shop that week, just to give you another shot at getting it. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that's true, otherwise people are going to get here and not have the car for it.
Well, yeah. So we've got several days, if that's the case.
We've got the BMW X5M, which is a hard to find car, available in the trial. 2 more event labs, so Finn's Ghost 422 and Takano 00. Your stuff's in here. Congratulations.
And who's the photo this week?
That's the
The
interesting.
photo is
Geek
Geek
Fake.
Fake.
Geek Fake,
You have
nice.
to probably read that a couple of times before you realise, but that is Geek, Geek Fake there. Any other notes worth a call out? Photo hoodie, I don't know what that is, but that sounds new.
It's a hoodie which is themed around taking. Anyways, pushing on. If you just go to a thing I wanted to call out really quickly about Drift Club is it says 3 points there, but it's 3 points per week. So
Oh, I
it's a
see.
total of
Okay.
12 points.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Find and smash 15 T-Rexes. Torben, what's that?
Yes, T-Rexes. You can find and smash them. And they are wonderfully colourful T-Rexes.
They do look it.
They look very exciting.
And is this following the trend? I think we said it on the last show, but is that a new item that will then be added to EventLab? Do we know if that's on the way?
Sure.
Or...
Yeah, let's just prematurely
Okay.
commit to that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll update and correct myself in a month's time as saying I'm unfortunate and I cannot confirm, but that's cool.
But that is generally a pattern we'd like to keep
Yeah,
up.
the
As
plan,
we're adding,
yeah.
as you're seeing new pieces, new building blocks,
Sure.
new props appear, then they should.
So watch this space for
make their
colourful
way into it.
dinosaurs, essentially.
That's what I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yes, always.
Spring.
Yes, so into spring, you can get the 650 Spider that we were talking about, that absolutely wonderful convertible. An event store, you can never have too many of those. And Forza Weekly Challenge in the Type 2 Deluxe. Had a lot of fun with this, making it go extremely fast in Horizon 4, so a lot of fun with that here as well. We've got an event lab by Pondon Ye Orb, a trial of the grasses, which is amazing, and Ex-Dead Zeppelin presenting the Festival of Forza card. Just another example of the wonderful stuff that our the community make with the tools we put in front of them. Really good stuff. More super wheel spins across the board. A shot at.
There are a lot of super wheel spins in this.
Yes.
This is intentional. Okay. Okay.
Well, we'll see if they're still there in a couple of days. And another screenshot by Wagon Driver 101. Look at that shot.
Very nice.
Challenger, 1970 Challenger.
Cool. Worth a shout out, there's a treasure hunt as well. I know people like to keep an eye out for those because there's accolades attached to them.
Yeah.
And
it's
a
on the
lot
way.
of fun to go hunting for those around the world and working together to spot where they are.
Wonderful. Good stuff. Looks like a very jam-packed one. Packed to the rafters, I think was one of the phrases I used at the beginning. We're now going to go through some of the bug fixes. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys. I don't know the bugs that have been fixed, but I've been told that you lot do.
So this update includes many, many, many bug fixes. Some we wanted to call out were that people might have encountered where when you're taking part in the weekly Forza challenge and you leave the game or you come back later, then it kind of resets progress. It just wasn't saving as often as it should do. That should be improved now. We've also fixed a crash on PC. So if you had ray tracing enabled and you're using the livery editor, sometimes that would crash. That's now been fixed. We've also fixed a few scenarios, and you may have noticed that actually when we were playing earlier, but if you played Horizon Open a bit, you might have noticed that you could get stuck in the kind of UI flow between races. Not stuck forever, but just stuck longer than you'd want. Like it would keep you just on loading screens for like a minute rather than the kind of 15 seconds or so it should take. That should be massively improved now. There are still times that somebody might have bad internet. You kind of have to wait for them, but not a lot you can do about that. But all of the actual kind of game side stuff there that was forcing you to wait should now be sorted.
Cool.
Obviously, many, many more fixes in the update as well. If you check out our socials, we'll have a full list available there.
Brilliant. Love that. Okay, so now is over to my favourite, most unpredictable section of the stream, and that is the Q&As. So all throughout the stream, we've been asking you guys to put these in chat. So if you've missed your chance today, make sure you come back to a stream in a month's time and pop your questions in chat, or I don't know, put them on social media, maybe we'll answer them there. The first question comes from Quertia KK that says, hey Tom, when is there going to be a Horizon tour for S2?
Yeah, so I believe that's in the next update in Series 7.
Ooh, okay.
I think S2 will be added to Horizon Tour, but generally speaking for Horizon Tour, the total number of events will be times by 10, I think. So yeah, I think there were around 30 championships previously. There'll now be over 300,
wow.
Which will give you not just S2, but a much greater variety across the different car classes and car types.
Sounds great. Abba G, wow, asking a question for a nation here, says, hey Tom, when will Expansion 1 release?
So for Expansion 1, right now, the team is hard at work on monthly content, updates like this one you've just seen.
Yep.
And also we're working on some new stuff as well. We will be talking about that soon, but not today.
Yeah. But the elephant in the room is answered. It's being worked on, folks. It's on the way. I Suck at Driving is the name in chat, not what I've just decided to say out loud. And they have asked, hey Tom, dirty air physics isn't fun when it comes to racing. Will you guys reduce the effects so racing will be more fun and competitive?
Yes, I believe in this series, actually, we have retuned Dirty Air. So for people that don't know, Dirty Air is when you're following another car. It's how it interacts with your aerodynamics. So obviously you'll get reduced drag as you come up behind a car, but also reduced downforce. So we've retuned that, so the amount we take off isn't as much, but also we're trying to preserve the aero balance of your car in that scenario, because we're taking too much front end off the car. So when you're following, you just lost performance. So yeah, that's retuned in Series 6.
Wonderful. Okay, next question comes from Top Gear Tim, who says, hey Tom, can we get an increase in maximum number of props in EventLab? Good question.
Yeah, so it's one, we're always looking to improve EventLab. We said that earlier. But we don't have anything to announce with respect to memory limits. It is a thing that we're kind of always evaluating, but there's nothing to announce at this time.
Okay, cool. Next question, Tom says, hey Tom, can we see the badges screen? Thank you, Tom. Yes, I did say I was going to come back to that. We were going to look at the badges, and there was the leaderboard feature as well. Yes. Thank you, Tom. I'm sure he's just outside.
There's an explicit badge screen that can get to it.
Well, we'll do leaderboard first.
Yeah, okay.
If ever anybody was wondering if this show is in fact live, well, now you know that it is. So I mean, this is on our dev environment, so I think I have to do this twice. It's a little bit slower than the retail one, but it should work on a second go. There you go.
There we go.
So that won't happen in retail. That is just our development servers.
The special one we have in the room.
Yeah, so here you get a look at all of our lovely developer friends and testers that have been playing the Horizon Open feature. In retail, this will be you, all your friends, everyone all over the world, and it will be a leaderboard of how much XP they've earned overall. So it's not a skill-based leaderboard, it's a how committed you are to
and that's
Horizon
XP
Open.
from Horizon Open,
Yeah.
Okay.
Toast
Cool.
man there.
And yes, there was the little toast there, which should probably lead us on to Tom's question of the badges.
Badges!
Oh, there they
so,
are.
yeah, we kind of touched on this earlier. You unlock these via Horizon Open. So by completing objectives within Horizon Open, such as leveling up and some other things, you can unlock badges and you can attach these to your player label. So I, on this developer profile, haven't unlocked any of these. But if I did, I would click on that and it would appear next to my gamer tag at the top, which on this kit is To XboxBG. So some of these are simple, like reach level 10 in Horizon Open. You'll do that in 2 championships probably. You'll already have that one. You do level up pretty quick at the start, and they go up from there. So reach level 500,
How much
900.
for the cat? I want to know the cat.
Cat, very cute cat.
200, okay.
200
I could do
Horizon
that.
Open, yeah,
I could do that, yeah.
This dog that looks like the dog from the memes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Level 6. Level 600. And some of them are other things as well. So the 4-leaf clover, if you're lucky, that is for winning 3 Playground Games rounds in a row.
And the heart? What's that for?
The heart is 3,000 clean racing skills in Horizon Open. 200 speed skills in Horizon Open. I think that's probably one people will get pretty quickly. Complete 100 rounds of PG games. What's toast, fella?
5 million
Good
skills
Lord.
score in Horizon Open.
I would probably tackle that one in Drift Adventure if I was you, but you can do it whichever way you want. It's up to you. So these are the badges.
And as we saw earlier, you can see them in-game as well, not just in menus and stuff. So you'll see that these nice little flourishes driving past. It's like an extra bit of clout, isn't it?
Exactly.
Especially if you've got like that 5 million one, you're going to want to put the toast badge in your name so everyone can see you did that.
Everyone in Horizon Open will see it, but everyone who encounters you anywhere else in the game will see it as well. So if your name's on a different leaderboard or on when they bump into you in free roam, all those scenarios, they'll be able to see your little mustachioed toast man. I want the burger. That's the one the Fat Mullins burger.
Yes, the
Horizon lore aficionados will remember Fat Mullins from previous titles.
Wonderful. Tom, I'm guessing that's all good for you, but do let us know in chat next month if we missed anything else. Thank you, Tom. Anyway, what did I tell you? Packed to the rafters once again. Some amazing stuff coming up in Series 6. That update is going to be available next week from Tuesday. Before I go, is there anything we can hint at for Series 7?
So Series 7 will be live 4 weeks after this one, and it aligns very closely with Cinco de Mayo, a festival that celebrates all things Mexico. Obviously, this is a game that likes to celebrate Mexico, so we will be having some synergy there.
Interesting. Okay, that sounds very exciting. Well, thank you so much to all of our guests and to all of you guys watching at home. Should we say goodbye altogether?
Yes.
Yeah? All right.
Okay.
Adios, everybody!